In this episode, we'll be reading about Jamaica's counties and parishes, Unit 2 from our Social Studies workbook. So welcome back. Let's go to page 10. And the topic is, why is Jamaica divided into counties and parishes? It says, in order to understand why Jamaica is divided into counties and parishes, we will take a brief look at some groups of people who settled in Jamaica. The Taínos were the first group of people who occupied Jamaica. In 1494, the Spaniards, led by Christopher Columbus, took the island from the Taínos. The Spaniards began to settle Villa de la Vega, now known as Spanish Town. The Spanish government was headed by a governor who represented the King and Queen of Spain. In 1655, the English captured Jamaica from the Spaniards and began to settle in the country. Similar to the Spaniards, the King and Queen government of England were represented by a governor. Using the same pattern of government as in England, the country was divided into parishes and counties. By the 1700s, the English had divided the island into 14 parishes. Each parish had a main town or capital. In 1758, the three counties were established. They were Cornwall in the western region, Middlesex in the central region, and Surrey in the eastern region. These counties were named after counties in England. We have the map of Jamaica showing parish boundaries and counties. So, if we look at the key, we have dotted lines being used for parish boundaries, yellow being used for Cornwall, and the light orange color in the middle being used for Middlesex, and that green color being used for Surrey. So, the parishes in Cornwall are St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney, while the parishes in Middlesex are St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Anne, and St. Mary. The parishes in Surrey are Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and Portland. We move now to page 11. How are Jamaica's parishes alike? All parishes are alike in that they have a main town or a capital. Each parish shares a piece of the coastline on the northern or southern boundary. The main public buildings are located in each parish capital. These are administrative centers of the parish. For example, a courthouse, which houses the resident magistrate or RM court. In this court, people are tried for various offenses, including petty and major crimes. Another thing you're going to find in the parish capitals will be the parish council offices. The council performs certain jobs given to them by the national or central government. Each parish council has a chairman or chief councillor called a mayor. We're also going to find the Inland Revenue or Collectorate. This is the office where all forms of taxes are collected. These taxes include property, motor vehicles, general consumption tax, GCT, and other fees required by the government. A parish church, which is always an Anglican. This tradition of an Anglican church goes back to the time when Jamaica was ruled by the English. Other denominations also have churches in the capital. Some of the important buildings in each parish capital are schools, hospitals, markets, banks, libraries, police stations, and post offices. All parish capitals are well provided with utility services such as water, light, telephone, firefighting stations, and recreational areas. Note: although the parishes have similar features, they are different from each other in size, shape, and population. They also differ by their main economic activities. We have pictures at the bottom. We have the Mandeville Courthouse. We have the Mandeville Parish Church. And we have a section of downtown Kingston showing important buildings. We're turning now from page 11. We have a table here showing parishes, area in square kilometers, capitals, rivers, mountains, plains, and valleys. So, if you were to look at this table and skip back to page 9, that activity there that said we were to use our atlas to match the parishes, the mountains, and the plains, we could, use this page here on page 12, this table, to check that work to make sure that it's correct. So that's a little hint for you there. So let's look in row 1. We have St. James with an area in square kilometers of 594.9 square kilometers. The capital of St. James is Montego Bay. The rivers are the Great River and the Montego River. The mountain is the Cockpit country and the Palmyra Mountains. And we have no plains, no valleys. We move on to Trelawney. Trelawney in square kilometers is 874.6 square kilometers. The capital being Falmouth, the rivers being Hector's River and the Martha Brae, the mountains being the Cockpit country and the Dry Harbor. We have no plains, but we have the Queen of Spain Valley. Hanover is 450.4 square kilometers in area, the capital being Lucy, the river being the Great River, the mountains being the Dolphin Head and the Cocoon Castle, no plains, and we have the Great Valley. We go to Westmoreland, that is 807 square kilometers, capital being Savannah Lamar, river being Carabita River, mountain being Mount Pelier, George's Plain and Dean's Valley. We move on to what? St. Elizabeth, capital being Black River. Let's go back to the area being 1,212.4 square kilometers. The capital being the being Black River, the river there being Black River, the mountains being the Cockpit country and the Santa Cruz Mountains. We have the Pedro Plains. We have no valleys. We go to Manchester. Manchester is 830.1 square kilometers. Mandeville is the capital. There are no rivers in Manchester. We have the mountains here being the Don Figueroa, the Carpenters, and the Mayday Mountains. We have no plains, but we have the Nassau Valley. We go to Clarendon, which is 1,196.3 square kilometers. The capital being Maypen, the rivers being the Milk River and the Rio Minho, the mountains being the Moko Mountains and the Bullhead Mountains. We have the Vere Plains, but no valleys. St. Catherine is 1,192.4 square kilometers, with the capital being Spanish Town, with the Rio Cobre being the river there. We have the Juan de Bolas Mountains, the Mount Pelier Mountains, and Mount Diablo. We have the St. Jago Plains, and we have Lloyda's Vale. Okay, we go to St. Anne. St. Anne is 1,212.6 square kilometers, with the capital being St. Anne's Bay. The rivers there being the Roaring River, the Duns River, and the White River. The mountains being the Dry Harbor and the Albion Mountains. And we have no plains, but we have Cave Valley. So those of us who are familiar with northern Clarendon, James Hill is pretty close to Cave Valley, but Cave Valley is actually in St. Anne and not Clarendon, so it's bordering. We go to St. Mary. St. Mary is only 610.5 square kilometers, with the capital being Port Maria, the rivers being the White River, the Rio Nuevo, the Wagwater River. We have no mountains, no plains, but we have the Agwater Vale as a valley. All right. Kingston is small with 21.8 square kilometers. The capital, all of it is the capital of Jamaica, Kingston. We have the Hope River. We have no mountains. We have the Ligani Plains and no valleys. St. Andrew is at 430.7 square kilometers, capital being Halfway Tree, with the Hope River and the Cane River, the Blue Mountains, the Ligani Plains, and we have no valleys. Portland is at 814 square kilometers. We have Port Antonio as the capital. We have the Rio Grande, the Swift River, and the Spanish River there. We have the Drunker Mountains and the Blue Mountains. We have no plains, and we have the Rio Grande Valley. Finally, we have St. Thomas at 724 square kilometers, Morant Bay being the capital, and the Plantain Garden River, Yallas River, and the Morant River are found in that parish, along with the Blue Mountains. We have no plains, and we have the Morant River and the Yallas River Valley. So we got quite a lot of information from this table, and we should try our best to be very familiar with this table. We should be able to match the parishes with their capitals, have a good knowledge of the rivers and the mountains that are associated with these parishes, and the plains, if any, and the valleys, if any. This brings us to the end of Unit 2. In Unit 2, we looked at why Jamaica is divided into counties and parishes. And we know from this unit that Jamaica has 3 counties. The counties are Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. We also looked at how the parishes are alike and how the parishes are different. The parishes are alike in that they have a main town or capital, and they have some similar buildings, right? And they are different in terms of their size and in terms of the resources and the economic activities that we would find there. Thank you very much for listening. As usual, take the time to read this unit several times if needs be, and let us get ourselves prepared for our GSAT exams. See you next time.